Hi, my name is Adrienne, and I want to talk to you a moment for about success tips for educators. Just want to go over a couple of points that I think would make me a successful educator. My main discussion points for this video are going to be motivation, assessment, how can I be a successful educator, and how can I motivate my students to learn? For me, these are all key points in being a successful educator. And I just want to share with you for a moment why I think that these make you a successful educator and talk a little bit more in depth about them as far as what they do to make you a successful educator. First, I want to talk about motivation. Motivation is big in the classroom, more so, I think, in the lower grades because younger children have a harder time paying attention and being excited about things and about learning. So, one thing about it is the lesson that you're giving should be engaging. Um, Students should be captivated. Like if they're watching their favorite show and they're just like glued to the TV, that's how your lesson should be, in my opinion, anyway. Your lesson should pull them in. It should have a good hook, a good, anchor, things like that to keep them wanting to come back for more and wanting to learn. Another thing is it should be memorable. I, for one, want to be able to remember lessons and lessons that are memorable are those that um, made the lesson engaging, made it exciting, made me want to learn about it, made me want to remember those things, and then exciting. If a lesson is not exciting, most children are not going to want to be involved in it. I've done both types of, or I've done many different types of lessons. I've had an engaging one, I've had one that's just paper and pencil. Now, if a paper and pencil one, most of the kids are, I'm bored, I don't want to do this, I don't want to do this. But if you give a activity, a project to go along with it, the students are way more willing to learn. They're, motivated. They want to be a part of that learning process. Now let's talk about assessments. Assessments are in place for many reasons. Many people don't like them. Many people do like them. In order to give a good assessment and know what we're assessing, we need to know the purpose of the assessment. This can be to tell us what the kids know, the students know, what they've learned, what they need to know, where they are academically, all kinds of things like that, and then moving right on to what we know, that would be primarily beginning of the year assessments, things like fluency tests, iReady diagnostics. With those, it can tell you what level you're on. You get a score in the hundreds, and depending on where that is, it can tell us what you know, and it sets you on the correct path in learning things in that iReady program. Um, we see assessments that teach us or show us what students have learned, and this is stuff that you see at the end of the school year. This is stuff like end of grade test or EOCTs, finals, things like that, that show what they learned and how they learned it and things like that. Was the delivery of the lesson good? Was it effective? Were children and students engaged in that learning? And then finally, assessments can tell us where kids or students are academically. Like with the iReady program, it can tell us, it has levels like level AA, level B, level C, things like that. And the higher, the next letter is going to be a higher level. Those iReady diagnostics, those assessments can tell us where they are in that type of learning. How can I be a successful educator? There is no right or wrong answer to this. For me, you would need to be caring, willing to learn, adapting, and patient. Now, to cover each one of those, a caring educator is one who really shows up for her students, is willing to see them succeed no matter what. Those students and those educators have that relationship to where the kids are motivated. They're wanting to learn. They're wanting to come to class every day because they know they have a caring teacher. And you never know, you may be the only caring person that they come across in their day. And they're with you for 6 to 8 hours a day. So to me, that is a key um, trait to have as a teacher. If you're not a caring person, then teaching probably won't work out for you. I've also learned that as an educator, you have to be willing to learn. You're learning from your students as they're learning from you. There's so much you can learn from them. Um, and you have to be willing to accept them and learn from them. You may have students from different cultures, things like that, and you're going to have to learn how they learn and how to teach to better get your lessons where they need to be. And that goes along with you have to be able to adapt. Um, Things change on a day-to-day basis. One day you may be doing this and then like half your class be out with the flu because it's flu season, and then you have to maybe, well, I don't want to do this lesson because I'm missing half my class. So you adapt those lesson plans. If you have an outside activity and it's raining that day, you have to change it. Adapting, you have to be willing and able to adapt and able to think quick, because things can happen in a split second to where you have to adapt and you have to do those things. And the last thing I want to talk about, probably the most important part of being a successful educator, is you have to be patient. Now, this is something that did not come easy for me. I am not typically a very patient person, but working in an elementary school has made me patient. And you see so many different behaviors, and you have to learn how to deal with those. And those kids, those that are acting up, they can see that you're getting frustrated. They can see all these things. So you have to, show that patience, and you have to take your deep breaths. And then some students are not going to learn as fast as others. Some are not going to be as motivated as others. You have to, be patient with that. And some are not going to catch on as quickly as others. And that is okay. You just have to know how to be, you know, able to, I guess, control your emotions, and as fast as you want them to learn, they may not learn that fast, and it can get frustrating. So that's when you have to be like, okay, there was a time, and for me, I have to remind myself, there was a time I did not know this, and it might have been difficult for me, especially math. So I'm thankful for those teachers that were patient with me, because there were some that were not patient. And there's a huge difference there, and they each have a different impact on your learning career. So I strive to be a patient teacher. And then the last thing I want to talk about is, how can I motivate my students to learn? No right or wrong answer to this question either. There are many, many different ways to teach to motivate your students to learn. I like to use incentives, and I like to use charts. I have behavior charts. I have sticker charts. If they're doing the right thing, their clip goes up or their clip goes down. If they're doing the wrong thing, we'll say, I don't like to use the word bad. And then, you know, it fluctuates. And there are some, I try to focus on the positive, because there's some kids who don't respond well to negative. I have one kid, he is absolutely has a meltdown if, you even mention him moving his clip down and things like that. So sometimes I don't even move the clip down. I just, the ones that are doing the right thing, they go up, and then the others, they just don't move at all. I'm just trying to take the focus away from that negative. And then the school that I currently work at, one of our incentives is, it's called a swag party, and students get so many swag stickers. They get to go to this party, and I think the most recent one is like a graffiti paint party. And so it's different themes, different things like that. They're able to go to those, and it's just, motivating them. I have a sticker chart for the iReady program that I was talking about, and every time they pass a lesson, sometimes they may not know they're passing. So I tell them, get a green. If you get a green, that means you pass and you'll get a sticker. And then there's also parties for that as well that they're able to attend if they get so many math and reading lessons. So for me, those motivate them to do the lessons, to learn the lessons, to take their time. I sit with them, make sure they're taking their time. There's an instruction part, a practice part, and a quiz part. The practice and instruction parts, I will sit and really have them slow down and take their time. And then the quiz, I slack off a little bit just to see um, what they can do and what they've learned. And a lot of them, because they're so motivated since I've been doing that sticker chart, they are so much more, there's been so many more lessons passed. So those are just some ways that you can motivate your students to learn. I'm going to go ahead and end my video here. I really hope that you enjoyed it and that you learned something, and I cannot wait to hear from you guys.